So the newest episode of Solo Leveling dropped, was broadcasted, and it might seem like a pretty dull episode that didn't really have much to add to the table, or let's say bring to the table, and that couldn't be farther from the truth, considering that they made some very, very important changes and some very important additions that showcases to us, that the creators, the production committee specifically, do plan ahead for a long time for this work, for Solo Leveling, to enjoy having a good, decent, and in some instances pretty amazing anime. So welcome to the new analysis. I didn't do analysis on the last few episodes, and I didn't really upload that much because I was busy with my master's thesis and my PhD exam. I'm gonna be a little bit freer in a little bit, and I have some AOE videos to make and film, but I'm a bit tired to make them. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to manage the other side, the Farsi side. So let's just jump into it. The newest episode 8 of Solo Leveling, adapts chapter 27, some parts of it with major differences, and chapter 28. Do remember, and I do remind you, that chapter 27 is very, very different to what we have the last few panels, that what we had in the anime. And the manhwa does something that I do appreciate, and I do like a lot what they did here in the anime, and they changed the conversation, removed some parts of it, didn't really show us much of what was going on, and the anime onlys are going to be confronted with some unexpected occurrences in the no gate dungeon, whatever they are heading inside right now. We will discuss that in the next episode's analysis. This analysis will be most focused on the changes, and then I will discuss the aggregate of the changes and what they will actually add to the story and why they are pretty significant. So another scene that we have is a sword scene that is changed a little. I do not understand why. That's why I'm talking about it first, and that's when our one-handed friend there is sparring with a student, with one of his students, and in the manhwa, I'm just gonna reveal that to you right now. In the manhwa, the person is actually the one that is actually sparring with the sensei there is an S rank, and is mentioning how he actually needs to improve his skills, and how this C rank person, this C rank old man, is a pretty good swordsman, and that they still need to do some trainings to hone their skills and to have better swordsmanship techniques. They changed that. I have no idea why. They don't mention anywhere that he's an S rank, and in the anime, in the manhwa webtoon, they don't actually show the face of the person, but you kind of see like a silhouette of this person now, and it seems like the most generic, unimportant person. Then we have some scenes that are the scenes of the beautiful waifu that we have, and some pretty interesting fan series that could be much better, because they somehow their most important assets got nerfed during the running scene, and I do hope they don't keep up with that. And here's the thing. And also there is a small change in the scene that the prisoners appear there. They add a little, let's say, romance touch to the whole situation. That is Sung Jinwoo, actually putting himself in front of Junhee, if I'm not wrong, the lady, the beautiful orange-haired lady, to kind of defend her from those menacing men. And that wasn't in the manhwa, it wasn't in the webtoon. Just adding it up, it's pretty unimportant, but it seems like a pretty romantic vibe. So here's where it gets pretty important, and do bear with me because it does get even more important later on. First of all, we have the whole situation with the guilds. Everything that you see with the guilds, and the whole explanation of the world building around them, and how the guilds are pretty much more important than the governments and the private huge companies, transnationals and international companies and stuff, is actually added here, so you have a better understanding of how the world works, and how, and let's say why the guilds are pretty much important in the story. This is a very, very important change in the manhwa. You don't see, and you don't get to see much of the information you see here that was added to this episode, or changed to be included in this episode, until much later on. But now you have a better understanding of how the world is actually working, and you will have a better, let's say, experience enjoying the world of Solo Leveling now that you have some, let's say, background information about the whole world and everything. And then suddenly they decide to do something that gave me goosebumps, and is giving me goosebumps. Actually, no, it's not giving me goosebumps now. It gave me goosebumps when I was recording a Farsi version of this same analysis. That is pretty, it has the same themes, but since I do really do bullet pointing and stuff, I don't do a full script, is pretty different in execution and presentation. And since this is the second one being filmed after the Farsi one. This is, I think, a little bit more, let's say, adequate in my own opinion. So this is what they did. They hyped up and brought up Jeju Island again. Look, Jeju Island, do not search that if you're anime only, is one of the best arcs of this anime. It's the 13th arc of the manhwa, sorry, of the source material. That is fucking hype, and we actually got treated to some of the Jeju Island action and situation at episode 1. Of course, I'm not gonna talk about which timeline and where was that exactly. But hey, this is an arc that is pretty much similar to, or let's say has been inspired by the Chimera Ant arc from Hunter x Hunter. And the fact that they are showcasing and hyping it up so much is pretty important. Do bear in mind, this doesn't appear until chapter 90 or 90 something. So that's like 60 chapters until we get to that point, and that's a whole lot of time that the anime has to go on to get there. And if they are changing the manhwa, as in changing the exposure of information to you, the audience, in order to showcase Jeju Island right now, or let's say hype up Jeju Island right now, it does mean that they are planning far ahead, and the production committee is pretty dedicated to solo leveling. And if things like that don't fall on the, let's say, marketing side or the business side, they will probably, or at least they do have strong plans to renew solo leveling at least for 24 or 30 more episodes, because that's how much it will probably take to get into Jeju Island. And that's pretty amazing considering how consistent the episodes have been so far. They have been nothing out of the world. Like, all in all, like, we do have some pretty amazing and close to being a masterpiece scenes of fighting, as was the one with the first killing spree of Song Jin-woo, when he was forced to actually kill. But hey, overall is a pretty decent anime. It's not Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 had masterpiece episodes and okayish episodes too. I'm looking at you, beach episode. But the continuation of such an amazing work so far would be pretty amazing. Sorry for the lack of vocabulary here. And that's the reason this episode didn't really have much fights and everything, but it was exposure and showcasing us what is going to happen later on, and a kind of reassurance to the manhwa readers, the source readers, that hey, the anime is going to go on for a long time. And as much as you will probably be worried about the future of solo leveling anime, considering we have A1 here that has abandoned and made us all lost any kind of hope we had for 86 anime. Pretty amazing piece of Japanese media that I don't really think we are going to get more anime of, at least for the longest time. It does give me a reassurance that the solo leveling anime will not be met with the same fate, and that's pretty nice. So that was all I had to say on the matter. Next week we'll probably have a analysis of the episode 2, depending that it's gonna be a very amazing episode because of what's going to happen in there. But I'm gonna be away for a week. Like, I'm gonna go on a trip, and I'm not gonna take anything that is related to my work there. I'm just gonna chill and enjoy the sea and everything. So thank you very much for dropping by. I'm gonna save this channel from the sorry state it has right now. Do bear with me. I do understand it can be disappointing to see the Farsi channel working and this one not working that much, but if you do pay close attention, I have been spacing out videos there too. I'm just really trying to take it a little bit easy. I'm recording some stuff for here too. Just bear with me. Thank you very much, and as we say in Farsi, Shabtum Bakhair, Ruzran Bakhair.